All right, everybody, welcome to This Week with App Legends. I am Mark P. Summers, and this is my weekly webinar that happens every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you would like to register, the registration link will be in the description of this replay. So let's get started. We are going to be covering a number of things today. The first thing we're going to cover is I've created a web app, but now I want a mobile app as a companion to that web app. Or I created a web app and then I realized that it wasn't a mobile app and I thought I was creating a mobile app all along. And what do I do about it? It would help if I turn my camera on so you can actually see me. There we go. Here I am. So that's what we are going to be doing today. Let's get started. So yes, we are going to be looking at that. So Nadulu, you're looking at the situation from the other side. You're creating a mobile app, but you want to make it a web app. And so the process is going to be the same, but opposite, if that makes sense. So let me grab a browser screen and let's share that screen and get started. New window, Famous. All right, let's move over to here. So I'm on Famous. Let's move that over here. So that's not on the screen. All right. So what we're going to be doing is looking at a mobile app and whether it's possible to just transfer that into, sorry, a web app and see if we're transferring that into a mobile app. And the answer is there is no magic. Here's my web app. Can you turn it into a mobile app? So let's go over here. In fact, here we go. This here is the club's website or the club's app. For those of you that are in the club, you've probably seen this screen many a time. And what we have here is a web app. Now, it would be really nice if we could turn this into a mobile app. Now, it's blurry. What about if I do it that way? Is that less blurry? Let me know if that's less blurry, seeing the screen share rather than my camera. Less blurry, good. All right, we'll do it that way then. And so here on this screen, we want to work out how we make this a mobile app. Now we can obviously use this on the mobile, although I obviously haven't done anything to make it mobile responsive because this, oh, that's not good to press. This isn't mobile friendly at the moment. But if we gave it the prompt at the very beginning to make it mobile friendly, and we went here, in fact, I'm going to find a better app that looks good being mobile friendly. So let's go here and let's use our insurance quiz that we created last week because this is mobile friendly. So here we have, now you wouldn't make a quiz a mobile app. No one's going to download a mobile app just to take a quiz, just to be in your funnel. So from a work point of view or usability point of view, this app subject wouldn't be a mobile app. You would keep it as a web app anyway. But we're using the system here. And that system is we put it into mobile view and then we take screenshots of each of the pages. So we want a screenshot of the quiz and then we want another screenshot of the form. So any feature or element we're going to be taking screenshots of. And then we'll fill in our details and get my results. And now we would take a screenshot of the results page. So any screen in your app that was needed to be mobile friendly, we would take screenshots of. And now this is obviously a very simple situation. And so we would have more features, more screens. There might be an ad user and we'd take a screenshot of the modal that popped up for logging in, for signing up, and all those types of things, whether it be paying and those sort of things, would all be screenshots. And then we would take that and we would start a new prompt saying, we are going to create a mobile app to be a companion to our already created web app. This web app is connected to Supabase, and we are going to connect to the same Supabase project. Please ensure when creating functions, you do not edit current functions, as these are being used in the web app. Please create clones of the function you want to use and name it mobile-old function name. Okay, so if it was a send email function and it was currently called send-email, it would name it mobile send-email. And so that way we're not interfering with what's already working in the web app. And for whoever it was that was doing it the other way around, you would do it so that it was web-old function name, so that it didn't interfere with the current mobile functions that you have. Because what we don't want it to do is go, I see a function that's already here, I'm going to use that function and make it work for my mobile app, and now it doesn't work on the web app. We want to make sure they both work together. And so that's why we're doing that. Also, I need to ensure you do not change the fields and structure of the database schema, as again, this is already connected to the web app or mobile app if you're going the other direction. Please create all the features included in the screenshots attached, not limited to, sound like a lawyer now, the quiz, spelling correctly, the quiz, the info sign up, the result page. Now here you would put your different features and you would have more interesting features than my quiz app is going to have. So once you've got all that, you're then going to go ahead and add those screenshots, and you'll probably have a lot more screenshots than I took. I only took 3, but if your app is bigger than that, you'll take multiple screenshots. So you add those screenshots. And then the important thing is down here, you've got the web, the mobile, and the crypto buttons. You're going to make sure you select the right version of what you're creating. So in this case, we're creating a mobile app from the web app. If you're doing it the other way around, then you would obviously create a web app from the mobile app, and you would change the wording in the prompt accordingly. And then from there, the other thing we want to do is please do not, and I'm doing this for all my apps, whether they're web or mobile, and I think this is very important, but let me put the prompt in and I'll explain why. Please do not use mock data in the front end or back end of the site. Instantly connect to Supabase and let's use real data from the outset. One of the biggest things that I'm doing in my coaching calls is fixing issues that were caused by having mock data. Now, don't get me wrong, mock data has its place. When you are creating just purely a look and feel MVP, you just kind of want to see what it looks like, then by all means, get it to use mock data. But you're actually creating yourself a lot more work further down the line when you then have to replace that mock data with real database connections. And so what we need to do is make sure that we're connecting to the Supabase data as early as possible, because then we're going to have less work moving forward. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Or whether I need to say more about that. No response either means, okay, Greg understands. Anyone, Greg and Brandon understands. Brilliant. So, please say more. Hannah, yes. So I presume you've already created an app. Most people in this room have. How do you get your data into Supabase? Yes, that's a very good question. Are we going to add the EB app URL to here? The web app URL to here? I'm not going to, purely because the system isn't going to be able to log in and see the features behind it. And so I don't want it just to look at what's available without the login and think that's everything. And so I'm using screenshots to make sure that it can see everything. I have lots of location-based data I want to display on the app. Great, I'll come to that, Michelle. So going back to that mock data and why I don't like mock data, basically mock data, let's say it's profile information, it's features that need lots of rows of data. Now it's using mock data, made up data that it hasn't put into Supabase, it's stored in local files. And so now you've got this weird connection with a local file and not with a Supabase database. So you now need to go, I like the look and feel, but I don't like the functionality because it's not live. And anything I'm adding into Supabase isn't reflecting on the site because it's not really connected. And so that's why we want to make sure that the data is in Supabase. Now, who asked the question about how do you get the data into Supabase? Let me just scroll back through here. Michelle. So it depends on what that data is. If the data is user data, you get those users to sign up and create their own profiles that's automatically put into Supabase. But if the data is like a directory of services, a directory of restaurants, and you have a CSV file of that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to import that into your table in Supabase. And you just need to make sure that your columns of data are the same as the fields that you have in Supabase. So that's what you're going to do. But I really don't like the heartache of having something that looks great and you think is functional, and then you realize that it's all just using mock data, and then you have to kind of reinvent what you've done by connecting up to Supabase. And that's why I use this command pretty much in every app that I'm creating. Do not use mock data in the front or back end. Let's connect it straight to Supabase. I think that covers that. I now start creating the Supabase manually and then connect it to Famous at myself, Greg. And that's a great way of doing it if you are confident with database schemas and things like that. And a lot of users don't understand a database structure and so are not at that level. It's definitely how I would prefer to do it, or at least I'll get Famous to kind of create a basis and then I'll go in and see what fields it's created and add more fields to it, and then copy the schema back into Famous so Famous understands what all those fields are for and how to map them to the various different features. So if you're comfortable creating the database yourself, then that's a great way of doing it. But if you're not comfortable, you don't need to go into Supabase to do that. You can definitely do that via prompts. All right, I'm ready to send this prompt over. And so it's going to, now I just realized I do have a bit of an issue with this, using this particular app, because if you remember those people that were here last week, we were actually really pleased with ourselves that we created this quiz app without Supabase. And so here we're saying connect to the same Supabase, but we don't actually use Supabase in this app. But the point of this, I'm not going to spend the whole session just talking about this. The point of this is to show you how to prompt that initial prompt. And that's what I've done. The actual specifics of the Supabase connection is something that you'll work through once you've done that first prompt. I'm not a schema guy, but it avoided Famous attempting to manage mock and real data. Maybe I did. Awesome. And actually, I'm not a schema guy. That's not my background, but I actually do enjoy working out that database structure. One of my favorite clients is in this room right now. We got up super early in New Zealand to be here. And we've been working on something really fantastic in her project. And that's been a lot of changing the schema of the database. And both of us have really enjoyed kind of our hands dirty in Supabase to kind of all that data. And she's been doing a fantastic job with that. Yeah, but you want to make sure that people understand you do not need to get your hands dirty in Supabase if you don't want to. It's just a case of making sure your prompts are ready. Okay, so we're going to let this finish this app just at once, see what it looks like. We're going to move on and go to our questions. I see are mounting up, and thank you for those. You can always tell whether you've designed a web app or a mobile app from the top here. The icons are different. And when this finishes, we're going to get a device button here so that we can test it actually on our devices using Expo Go. So if you think you've designed a web app, sorry, a mobile app, and it doesn't say device at the top, I'm sorry to say you've designed a web app, and you will need to then do this process that I've just gone through, make it a mobile app, and it's probably one of the biggest issues that we've been having with people when they're coming in and in the prompt they're saying, I'd like to create a mobile app, but those little icons at the bottom is kind of a bit of a gotcha outset. So these still going to take a while. So I'm going to go ahead and look at these questions and answers. Greg wants to talk about sending email. I'm not sure this is the right space to get this question answered, but I signed up beginning of the month and paid the deal. And okay, account billing issues needs to go to either support at famous.ai if it's famous related, or support at .ai if it's deal related. I don't work for Famous or Deal. I'm an independent expert that like to you can have me on these calls so I can pass on my expertise to you guys, but I can't help with account related issues. So support at famous.ai or support at deal.ai, or both. They actually both go to the same place, or get a response as soon as they can. To save on cloud. Okay, Koro, you're on the free account and you don't use your system. After 7 days, it's put on pause mode, and then you have to unpause it by going in, and you need to do that 90 days of it going into pause. You can solve this by upgrading the pro version of Supabase, or by using the app within every 3 days. Make sure you're using the app, otherwise it will pause. And the reason they do this is obviously lots of people up for free account and then don't continue to use it. And so it's a way of them saving server power in their systems. And a bot to a web page. Yep, Greg, I can definitely that. And that looks very plain under here. Let me put those questions over there so they're not on the screen. This is a very blank app. Let's say, and I tell you why it's blank is because I didn't give it the questions. I gave it one screenshot of what the questions were, and so I would have needed more information at the beginning. The point of this is to show you how to prompt and to connect it up. And obviously you would create a lot more information in that prompt to show what it is, what the app is doing and all the features, very similar to the very first prompt you gave it, but ensuring that you told it that this is a companion app and not to make database. So I'm going to not obviously fix this because I'm not going to use this app in any way. And I'll also make sure that in the replay, the prompt that we used here is going to be in that of the YouTube video, so that if you want to go back and read over that, you can do. Okay, let's move on from that to one of these other questions. Sending emails. So are two email systems that you need to be thinking of. In Supabase, and let me pull up my Supabase account. Here. Okay, in Supabase, let's go home, project overview. Supabase under authentication and then emails. These are the emails, and I don't actually have it set up here, so let me go to a different project that I know is set up. Coaching Club. Under emails, you've got these SMTP settings, which for me, I use Mailgun. I like Mailgun. They're cheap and reliable. And so in here, can I put the prompt in the chat? Yes, Eric, that is a great idea. I can put the prompt in the chat. Boom. There it is. Thank you for keeping me making life easier for you. So copy that before it disappears up on that chat. I know how you guys like to talk amongst yourselves. So yeah, that is the prompt that I use. Obviously, you'll make it relevant to what your app is about. And also you would give it more information about those features. Here, I only put quiz info, sign up and result, no information, which is why I ended up with a blank page on my first go round. You would put all of the features and what those features did in the system. But the important bit is that you don't want it to reuse functions that it's already used. Okay, that's super important. Okay, on to so like I say, I use Mailgun. They're cheap, they're reliable. I've used them for many years. Wouldn't use an Office 365 email account. I wouldn't use a Google Workspace email account to cover that as well. And the reason for that is you are likely to be sending more email from here. And those accounts aren't designed for mass mailing. They're designed for one-on-one emails and not mass mail. And that's why things like Mailgun, High Level, or whatever system that you use, much more designed for that. You can still use your own email addresses. You can still use your newsletter address or your personal address or whatever address you want to use. You just need to set up the domain name so that a couple of things, there's SPF, Sierra Papa Foxtrot, and there's DMarc, and then my name. I'm not sure why they named it after me. So DMARC. Don't really have anything to do with mail, but I'm privileged that they use my name, call it. And those two things need to be set up at the domain level. Now, when you set up your Mailgun account, it's going to walk you through how to set up your DNS for those, the SPF records and the DMARC. They're going to talk you through how to do that. And then you put your settings, and I'm not going to scroll down here because my settings are below, but you're going to put your settings into this screen. And this is how those emails that Supabase sends out are going to be used. So the confirm sign up email, the invite user email, magic link emails, change email address, reset passwords, re-authentication, those emails are going to be sent through this system. Unable to copy the prompt in this. Can't change the settings of this. I've seen that before in other webinars where copy and paste is for some reason switched off. I will get that fixed for the next time, but I'll make sure that that prompt is in the description of the replay and you'll receive an email, that link to the description. Floating. Yeah, I can't change that setting while we're live, so I apologize, but I'll make sure that that's that YouTube video. Watch out for email to who registered for the webinar. Chuck, noticed that with X, we fixed it for them, and I obviously forgot to fix it for myself. So I apologize. I will sure it's done. What I'll actually also do is create an app. Yes, an app that has a link at the beginning of the. Let me do this. Why don't I just create a Google Doc? We'll do it the 1000X way. We'll create a Google Doc with webinar notes. Hello? Webinar notes. And then we'll put that in there. Not quite sure why it's like that, but, and let's share that. Yes, webinar notes. Let's share that with anybody with the link and comment, copy the link, and boom, there we go. And that way we can put everything in there. I'll also be bold and put the YouTube link in there so that people that aren't subscribed, I don't know why my formatting is all messed up, clear formatting. Here we go. I'll put the, oh, it's cleared formatting, but now it's, I don't have edit rights, do I? know that's, your cursors are moving over the app and that's because you've got comment rights. .com/AI app. Oh no, one of that sign, AI app. Orders. All right, so there's the YouTube link as well for those people that haven't yet signed up to YouTube. All right. We get to webinar notes, authenticate. Oh, yes, we were talking about email. So you've got two areas of email. One is all of the authentication style emails, and this is a must. Set up SMTP settings. For most people, you're going into sign in providers and going into email, and you're switching off confirm email when you're building your app. But I strongly advise you, once you've built your app and everything's working, to go back and switch that back on, because you'll end up with bots subscribing to your app and you'll end up with a whole load of junk in your app, and you definitely don't want that. So definitely come back once you've got your app working and authentication is working. Come back and configure your email and then switch back on confirm email a bit just there. Okay, so that's really, really important, because otherwise you're going to end up with a whole load of junk users in your app. You're not going to have any statistics on the usability or the stickability of your users, because those bots, believe it or not, going to use your app moving forward. They're purely just seeing if they can log in and grab code. And so you want to make sure that that confirm email is there, and that under the email section of Supabase, you want to make sure that you've got your SMTP settings set up and you've edited this email from the boring email a little bit more interesting. And like you see, I put, get to subscribe and things like that in the email, and kind of information about how you want them to interact with you. Okay. That's one section of email. The other section, which I believe the question from Greg actually was about, is how do you have emails going from the app at certain points? Maybe it's a weekly reminder, maybe it's a report or things like that. And with that, what you're going to need to do is have those same SMTP settings from Mailgun. So your settings are further down. And like I say, I just stopped sharing my screen a second and just quickly look and see whether they're, oh, okay, it's actually hidden, so I can show you that. You've got your username and your password for Mailgun will then also be in Supabase secrets, which are over here under edge functions and then secrets. And then you'll have, I don't use Mailgun for sending mail from this app. I use Go High Level, but in here you will have Mailgun mg underscore username and mg underscore password, and then you will prompt in the app, please use these two keys, and then give them those exact keys from your Supabase secrets to send Mailgun emails at this point. So the report just got generated. Please use my Mailgun secret keys in Supabase secrets to send this email and the PDF attachment to this user through that. So Greg, if that's the type of email you meant, let me know if you need me to elaborate more on that. But you're going to set up Mailgun, you're going to put the Mailgun configuration as Supabase secrets, and then you're going to give those Supabase secrets to now, Famous does understand Mailgun. So you could do it the other way around. And you could say, I'd like this report to be sent through Mailgun. I'm going to create the Mailgun secrets Supabase. Please set up the function for this and let me know what Supabase secrets you would like me to connect. And it would then give you all the names of what it's expecting. And you'll just go and create those secrets for it. Okay? That's email. Greg, give me some sort of feedback whether that covers your question. But if you use, okay, a question I like, because I love Go High Level. So with Go High Level, what I would do is then at the point that something needs to be sent, an email needs to be sent, I would use a webhook so that High Level was then told to send that email. Let me just get to a point in Go High Level on my screen that, that's weird. Go here, there we go. Let me get to a point in my High Level that I can share my screen again with you, and I'll show you the benefit of doing this with Go High Level as opposed to just inside the app. And for those of you that weren't here week, I'm a of Go High Level. I have my own white label version, which is fully supported by me and my team. And high level starts at about $97, goes up to $497. And I have an option that is purely available for famous contacts, which are you guys, because you're on my webinar. And I charge $47 a month for all the features. So calendar booking for those of you that have booked, done with me, done with you time, booked through my Go High Level system. There's a social planner for all of your Facebook and Instagram and things, so you can plan out your whole month's worth of posts. That's all in there. So there's a whole bunch, like Hootsuite is your social planner, that's included. Calendly is your calendar, that's included. It's not those apps, but it's that functionality. You've got your CRM, you've got invoicing that links to Stripe, and everything is all connected into that Go High Level. And like I say, for you guys, I have $47 a month for a sub account, gives you all of that. Joanna, I wanted to use the opportunity. So Joanna, let me give you this other link in that Google Doc, https:// AI app builders without the K.com. And that link should take you to this very simple little site with the magic little dollar offer. So I'm not sharing my screen. It would help if I actually showed you what I was doing. So if you go to created a simple little style app for this Go High Level, and it's this link here you'll use, and it will take you off to then subscribe at that 47 account. So there's probably going to be a limit to this because you're not making any money on this. I'm just giving you a great service for you to use. And so I can't guarantee this offer is going to be there for forever, but for right now, it's there and you can use that. And for the link for that is in that document. Obviously giving too many permissions because people are actually writing on my document. Not sure the screen actually showed you what you're, yeah, I need to change these permissions because please don't edit my document if I gave you the wrong permissions. That's not what it's there for. Thought I only gave you commenter permissions, but I'll change it to viewer and hopefully that will stop people editing my document. To email, we answered Greg's questions. Greg moved on to ask about Go High Level. And oh, that was what I was doing. I was going to log into Go High Level and show you how a contact looks in Go High Level. And let me just find myself. Here we are. Okay. And then I'll share that screen with you. And so now you should be able to see the screen. So this is what you get with Go High Level. I'm in a contact right now. It's me. And in here, over here, I can see what appointments that person's booked, how much money they've spent, any notes that I've written, all of the various different systems they've gone through. They've completed forms, the contacts were created, they've looked at pages. And down here, we have tags. Were a famous referral, which means that they use my affiliate link. That out last week, they used the quiz and they need term life insurance. So this quiz triggered that tag, which then could trigger me to call them and sell them insurance based on that app. Automation, we can see that they've gone through various different funnels, and I'll show you those in a second. So let's do that now. In fact, so under automation, that famous referral thing that they went through. So I have a referral link for famous. People click on that link for my YouTube channel. And when they get given that famous referral tag, it then sends them an email saying, I noticed you up with famous. Can I help you? Did you sign up? Give you any support? Because obviously it's in my best interest that they sign up famous, because then I get a bit of a commission. And then obviously I'm promoting my YouTube channel, which you all must be bored with me mentioning. But if you haven't signed up, subscribe. Okay, that's Go High Level. And you can do some really cool stuff in Go High Level. Have bombarded with responses, even text messages and things like that. And so I have this little bit of automation here that when a customer responds to a text message or an email, it gives me an internal notification and then slacks me with what that message was and a link back to the conversation so that I can make sure I respond. Which now means that instead of you getting stuck in my inbox for 3 days because I haven't looked over those conversations, I'm now being slacked straight away with that information to ensure that I'm giving the very best customer service that I can. Had a couple of people just before this call, they sent an SMS to my system saying a link for the webinar, and it sent me a message straight away, so I was able to respond to it. But moving on from that, if you actually go to AI App Builder's site, this is moving on to the next question that somebody asked: how do I put a chatbot in my app? Go High Level has AI-powered chatbots. Obviously, you can write those, connect to OpenAI, and just have it embedded and part of your app. You know, what the club page is and everything else, it has its own chatbot that is programmed. But you might just want a customer service chatbot, and that is included in that Go High Level. So over here, we've got this little chat sign, and we can then via live chat or chat via SMS. And in here, we can start a new chat and say, Mark, doing a webinar today, and this is something I need to train it on. But then my chatbot is going to then respond to that, knowing that I'm busy right now. It has access to my calendar and everything else. So it is, and so Jack, you can also use the same chatbot from Deal, and you're going to ask it to embed code exactly for that. So I'm going to show you now how do you get that code, and I don't have chatbot in Deal, so I'm going to do it in High Level, and we go to settings and AI, and here is my chatbot that is on that page, and I'm going to go ahead and on edit, and here is the training of that chatbot. So it's similar to Deal in how you train it. And then the final thing, once you've trained it, you're going to go to sites and chat widget and grab the code. Oh, not delete. So here we've got a get code button. You're going to get this code, and you're going to take this code here and go back to Famous, and we'll go into the club, and we'll edit the club live. Actually, the club already has a chatbot, so that doesn't work. But I'll give you the prompt anyway, and the prompt is, please add this chatbot code to the footer of all pages, and then simply just paste in the code. It's as simple as that to get a chatbot into your website, whether it be a Go High Level chatbot, a Deal.ai chatbot, some third-party automation chatbot, doesn't matter. The actual prompt is exactly the same. And that's all you're going to need. I'm going to put that into our very messy document that we have here. And obviously you'll finish that script. You'll finish that script with the rest of your chatbot. Yeah, Chris, I've done it. It's there. Okay, go back to our questions. Filling back up again nicely. Thank you very much. So I covered sending email. I covered adding a chatbot. Greg, does that answer your chatbot question? I hope it does. If it doesn't, tell me. So yes, I've created an Amazon with an associates account, and it keeps showing the Famous logo for all the product thumbnails, and all the links lead to error pages. Is that what you mean by mock data? Absolutely. So here it doesn't have the pictures. They're not saved in a supabase storage bucket. And so it's just using the little black and white rocket. Then the links, it doesn't know what those links are because it hasn't about the database with all of your associate links, things like that. So if you go into Supabase, you'll probably find that your Supabase is empty. And that's the issue, is that you're using mock data to see what it's going to look like, but it's not actually connected to real data. And that right there is why I like to tell it right at the beginning. Don't mess with mock data. Let's start real data, create the database, and create me an admin area where I can start entering into that with the right information. Have a web crawler that will go and grab the image if it's an Amazon product. And a web crawler that will go off to the Amazon link, grab the image, and then put that into a Supabase bucket. Now you would start programming that so it was live and automated. Rebbe, how do I get it to connect at this point? You tell it. Now connect this to my Supabase, ensuring that any mock data that you have already created is copied over into the Supabase tables and removed from the file base. And what that should do is take that mock data and put it into the tables so that now you can either delete it out of the tables and put your own stuff in, or at least see it working. And the way I test whether it did actually work is I take a name that's already in the table and I add an S on the end or another letter or an exclamation mark, and then go ahead and refresh my page. And if that name doesn't change in the mock data that's on the site, then it's not connecting to the database that I've just changed. And so you want to keep prompting through until it's using no mock data and only the data from the live Supabase table. Okay, that's a very simple way of finding out whether your data in Supabase is actually being read, is if you just change a letter in one of the titles or descriptions or something. Go ahead, once you've saved that in Supabase, go ahead back to your website and refresh it. And if it doesn't update, then you know that you're not connected. Can emails be integrated with Aweber? Yes, exactly the same way. So Famous knows all about all these systems. So you could say, please integrate with Aweber to send emails using their API, and let me know what you would like me to save the Aweber API key as in a Supabase secret. You'll then save that in a Supabase secret, same way as we did with AI and Go High Level and Mailgun, where we created those Supabase secrets. You're going to then do the same with the Aweber things. All right. How do I add Amazon to Supabase? Well, you're not going to download the whole of Amazon's database and put that into Supabase. What you are going to do is select the products you want to sell, and maybe you could do it where you had an admin area and you enter the Amazon number, and ASIN, your scan function will go off to Supabase and off to Amazon and grab all the relevant information, Amazon, and populate the database and the links with your associate email. So right now you've got a mock-up, a visual look of what it's going to be, but there's no real data or functions behind that. That's now what you need to create moving forward. And I would do it where you're just literally copying the ASIN at Amazon. So, I want these labels, and then the ASIN code is up here in the URL here. So here is your ASIN code in the URL. Okay, that answer that live done. Can you please type prompt that I can add, since that went pretty fast? What prompt, Rebbe? I'm not sure what you are talking about. All the prompts that I've done so far, I put in document. We're recording for this webinar. Yes, it gets emailed out to everyone that has registered, and because you're here, you will have registered, so you'll get an email with that. It's also in my YouTube channel, and probably I haven't mentioned this, but if you subscribe to my, wait, how do I do this? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you will get notified when that gets uploaded as well. And I apologize if I haven't mentioned my YouTube channel before. Yes, it will be uploaded there. On the email question asked by a fellow viewer, other Mailgun and Go High Level, do we have the same services within DLI AI? So you can't connect Go High Level or Mailgun to DLI AI. It's kind of its own system. I'm not sure where you would connect Mailgun and Go High Level to deal as far as its functions. Do, however, know that there's going to be a lot more updates to Lead Falcon very soon. And so you could look at connecting it to Lead Falcon and utilizing like that. All right, I've got to the end of all my questions. Let me just quickly look on the chat. We've got 5 minutes left of our call. I wanted to, Joanna, are you good with the, if you, yes, the $47 is one sub account with all the features you could possibly have within Go High Level, fun sub account. If you have deal, yes, done that. Chuck, thank you. When building my app that needs the investor to provide documents, is there a way to add a scanner to make it easy to provide necessary documents? So if the document is not a PDF and they're not able to add it to upload as a PDF, which would then go into the storage bucket, if it was a mobile app, you could add a camera to it. And so you're taking a picture and that picture is uploaded to the mobile app. You could then add OpenAI GPT-4o and ask it to transcribe that image that's been uploaded. The easiest thing to do, most people have a camera on their phone, and so they're able to take a picture of the document, and then you just have an upload, a JPEG, PDF, or whatever, and it uploads it into your storage bucket. 10 minutes ago, you said, can I add that to the Google Doc? Then you said, thanks, so I presume I did that. Greg says he's good. What are the additional charges in your Go High Level, like email, sending, phone? So our charges are the standard charges. I don't make a on that, and I don't have a page with what those charges are right now, but they're standard in the industry. As far as what those charges are, I will do my best to create a page before next week's webinar. But they are standard charges from Twilio and different providers. Microcents per email, microcents per text message, that sort of thing. You can connect Mailgun to deal. Okay, thank you. So you can connect Mailgun to deal. I'm sorry, I'm a famous expert, not a deal expert. I do have a deal account, but I used it extensively. So Eric is a savior here. He says that you can connect Mailgun in deal. You just need to go to settings. So thank you, Eric. I say Go High Level is only $47. No, Go High Level starts in 97, goes up to 497. I have for you is a white label account, which is for my famous clients, which are you because you're on my webinar. And I do that at $47 per month. And the for that is on the, if we go here, in the webinar notes, there's this link here, goes to all the links. If you go to the AI app builders, that has the high level white label, which when you click on is going to charge you only $47 for a sub account. It's given us more information. Go to deal.ai, go to settings, integration, email, and enter your Mailgun information in there. Thank you, Eric. Do you have referral or affiliates link for Go High Level and your YouTube, or just go direct? So for that package, you will need to go through this form. Otherwise, you will be charged $97. Don't sell Go High Level directly because I like to support people, and I can only do that in my own system. So I support you rather than giving you an affiliate link to Go High Level. I support you with such an amazing price is here. And then you can do all the sexy stuff I've done over the last couple of weeks, which is to your app, trigger automation, and calendars embedded in your app, and all that stuff. For those of you that book done for you, I charge for my done with you time. You can go in, book my calendar, pay the money, and then be linked into my calendar. That's all automatically done with this same system. So I use this on a daily basis, about 26 hours a day. It's running my business for me in the background while I'm busy supporting you guys and talking to you guys. So I love it. It's amazing. I'm actually thinking about starting another YouTube channel on how you can use Go High Level with AI built apps. It will be separate to my current one because it's a different thing, and I like the punishment. Great question, Hannah. I love that question. On the style is the Done With You, which is my coaching calls. My first hour is $197. Oh, it's actually first hour and 15 minutes is $197. And then once we've worked together for that first hour and 15 minutes, all subsequent hours are $97 an hour. And on that first call, I give you a magic link to book the $97 an hour if you need it. People do me with an hour and 15 minutes and I answer all their questions and they run away. Like me holding their hand through in step of the way and we get their app done and launched, adding more features and fixing those bugs. That's what I love doing the most. Guys, we are at the top of the hour. It's been a pleasure. I will make sure that all of these links and so forth are in the description of the replay, and you will get an email at the end of today that replay. And I be coming same time, same place next week. People that come early get front row seats. So normally open the room about 15 minutes before midday Eastern time. So please do come along and forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, have fun. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Yes, please go to bed. Janelle has come all the way from New Zealand to today. So, yeah, you can go to sleep now. And, yeah, too much. See you soon.